Hi, and welcome back to another motivational moment with me, Coach Michelle. Listen, I stopped by really quickly to share a few takeaways from yesterday's sermon. My pastor preached from the topic Evolving with God, and his scripture reference comes from the book of Acts, chapter 10. Make sure you read that when you get a moment. And he said, God accepts us just as we are. He knows we aren't perfect, yet he loves us anyway. We have to leave space for God to stretch us. God says you can't limit him and determine who gets to come to his table. Who have you written off that God has written back in? Who has written you off and God has written you back in? God can use the unlikely and the written off to do great things. You remember Rahab. Rahab was a prostitute, yet he used her to do great things. David was a shepherd, and he became a king. Paul was a persecutor, and he became an apostle. Abraham was an idolater and a worshiper of other gods until he decided to worship only one God. Moses was used to save God's people. Cornelius, as you'll read in the 10th chapter of Acts, he was a praying man and he believed in helping the poor, but he wasn't a Jew, and yet God used him anyhow. So I stopped by to remind all of us that God can use anybody to do anything. And the next time you decide to tell somebody that they can't do something or God isn't pleased with them, don't do that. Because you and I don't get to decide who sits at God's table. Only he can decide that. And believe it or not, if you go through the scriptures, these are just a few people I named. God has allowed many people to sit at his table that most folks wrote off and decided they weren't worthy. Well, guess what? God said they were worthy. And just like they were worthy, you're worthy. I'm worthy. We are worthy. Listen, I love you all so much. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.